Hi everyone, my name is Matthew. I basically go to see a lot of movies, and some people have been telling me that I should do reviews on them. I'm doing Straight Outta Compton today. It's not because I have a particular interest in this movie. I just happened to go see it recently, and then I decided I should do a video review or start doing video reviews for movies. So basically, this movie, if you don't already know, I'm sure you know what it's about. It's a biopic about N.W.A, a rap group from the mid 80s to early 90s, and how they started, and how it basically follows them from their inception to the death of one of their key members, Eazy-E. So the movie, let me start with the good parts. It was a decent film. It was really good to see in the theaters. A lot of people were really excited, understandably, and the movie was produced very well. Like it had all of the music that you wanted to hear, and like even bits and pieces of things. Like you could call them Easter eggs, but it was just like kind of like little nudges to songs that were about to come out, after the movie ended and things like that. And this is in large part, I think, due to the fact that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube were heavily involved in producing the film, which, in my opinion, it's partly a good thing and partly a bad thing. The good part of it is that you could have some accurate portrayals of their characters. Well, I mean, maybe not too accurate because people always want to, I think, see themselves in through rose-colored glasses, so to speak. And I feel like the characters were shown in a very, very, very positive light, which, as far as the film being entertaining and engaging to watch, was very good. But if you're thinking you're going into seeing like a real story and facts about things that how they actually happened, I would say that's debatable because who wouldn't want to paint themselves in a good light if they're making a movie about their own lives? Like if you've ever seen Michael Jackson, The Moonwalker, I mean, it's just like, Moonwalker is an amazing film, but it's really self-indulgent. I even think like if Ice Cube and Dr. Dre were young enough, they would have played themselves. Um, but anyway, back to the movie. The acting was really good. The actor who played Eazy-E was very, very good at doing an emotional performance, and I think the scenes where he found out he had AIDS and when he was dying were very effective. But basically, all of the portrayals of the characters were spot on, and like even the like Snoop Dogg and things like that, like the little cameos that we had, they were good too. And you almost thought that. Like I even asked someone if they thought they dubbed over the voices with the real people, and I mean, I have no idea if they did or not, but it was that believable. And I would sort of, I would attribute that in large part to the direction from F. Gary Gray, the director of the film. He directed the original Friday. He's directed a lot of other films like The Italian Job, The Negotiator, if you remember that. But he has a really good track record, and I think that he did a great job with what he was given. As far as the weak parts of the film, I think that they were. I mean, one of the most glaring things was the portrayal of women in the movie. I'm not a feminist or anything. I'm just saying that it was a little frustrating that we had. We were just like, I don't like seeing movies where they just throw things in there for eye candy, and they don't really explain anything. Um, that was true for a lot of the women in the movie, who you just saw them like naked women walking around during pool parties and sex orgies and things like that. I mean, there were a few characters like Verna Young, Dr. Dre's mother. She was, she was moderately developed. She didn't have a lot to do in the film, but I think that she was a decent character. But otherwise, they kind of jumped from them, the members being these young guys, spending money and acting frivolously, to everyone was like suddenly paired up. Like Easy had a wife. Dr. Dre was like dating his Nicole and Ice Cube was married as well. Um, and that jumps to another problem with the movie, was that we just skipped over a lot of time and a lot of things that I think were important in the lives of the characters, but we just didn't get to see, like Ice Cube converting to Islam, which is like a huge life decision for someone to convert to Islam, and we just didn't really get to see it. We sort of got a nod to it because he was kind of rolling with the Nation of Islam during an interview scene, but we didn't get to delve into it, and we didn't see the transformation. We also didn't see Dr. Dre develop his relationship with his girlfriend. We just kind of see them meet at a pool party, and then a few scenes later, they're like dating and they're about to move in together. But she's basically just a catalyst to get him to end his toxic relationship with Suge Knight. I'm not trying to give too much away about the film, but if you know anything about the real people who are portrayed in the film, you'll know that Dr. Dre was paired up with Suge Knight. They ran a company together, and then they didn't. So, yeah, if you want to see the film, sorry. And then also, like, suddenly the relationship with there's this underlying, the main plot, I think, kind of consistently follows the relationship between Eazy-E and his manager, and how they ended up sort of breaking up the group through their secrecy. And I would say that in real life, Eazy-E was probably like pretty complicit in it, but they really put all the blame on the manager, Jerry. I think his name's Jerry Heller, and we get a very positive portrayal of Eazy-E, and he's just, in the end, he's seen as this sort of guy who's trying to atone for everything that went wrong, and taking the blame until he's like he has an untimely death, and that's fine, and it's very effective. Like we really feel for the character, but if you're thinking you're going to learn something substantial from the movie, I would say it's debatable. You can't really tell what's real and what's not, and from what I've just read a little bit afterwards, they did cut out a lot of details about the character's life, I guess, to have them seen in a better light. But yeah, I mean, basically the movie's good. You should definitely go see it. It's a great experience in the theater. It's a very interactive experience because of the knowledge that the crowd has going into it. But the only detriment to the film is, in my opinion, the edit, in the fact that we skip over a lot of details and we don't get to see enough. Like, especially the big issues like the LA riots and the police brutality. We don't get any context for it, and that's one of the first things that I thought in my head when the movie started. It's like, the police are evil and they were like abusing these people, but we don't really understand why, and I found that frustrating. It seemed like they wanted to make it kind of timely and relate it to things that are happening now, but I think that we should really like sit objectively and separate the issues that are going on, because this was over 20 years ago, and I think that we could look at it from an objective, from another perspective, and kind of understand what was going on at the time. Like, there was no mention of the war on drugs or anything like that, and there was a huge political landscape around it. And even though the group were saying they were activists, and maybe in reality they were, we didn't really get to see them being too active. They were more like, we saw them benefiting from their fame and everything like that, but we got a lot of talk and we didn't get to see them actually like go in and use their power to use their fame to empower the people in their community. But even though I feel like they are now, that's something that I think we could have seen in the movie. But all in all, I would recommend the film. Definitely go see it. This is my first review, so give me a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and Just let me know. Feel free to comment. I'm open to discussing the film, and I have a long analysis review written down. And when I get a website put up, I'll definitely start posting those. So yeah, thank you for watching, and go see the movie. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you for the next film. Bye.